Ceramics is an ancient art form that originated from China, and it's very eccentric, very unique and different. And today we will discuss how we do ceramics. I have been doing ceramics for about 2 years now, so I have some experience in the work, and it's very simple, very interesting. So today we will discuss the proper attire, the tools, and the throwing process, as well as the finishing look. The proper attire and tools necessary for throwing. Proper attire would be having your hair tied back if your hair is long, cut nails because long nails will stab into the clay as you're working, closed-toed shoes, old clothes. I would recommend old clothes or an apron or something to just put over your clothes because it gets really messy. And as for tools, you will need a needle, this shaping tool, a small sponge, and a bucket of water. Now let's begin by demonstrating the throwing process, which consists of wedging, centering, and then throwing. So I will begin by wedging. Now with wedging, you have to press down on the clay and bring it up. Press down on the clay and bring it up. Very simple, just do it, and switching sides, bring it up and press down on it. And usually when I wedge, I shape the clay into a cone so that it is easier to center. Now it is in a cone shape for the centering, and centering is basically bringing up the clay into a cone and then putting it back down. So I will demonstrate that. Gotta wet it, the clay has to be really wet. The purpose of coning and deconing is so that you can get the clay right in the center, and once it's in the center you can poke a hole, and that way everything is very even. So cone, you bring the clay up with both hands and then you push it back down, and then you'll create a hole. So basically what I'm doing here is coning, which is like pressing the clay together. You have to lean in a lot and tuck in your elbows. Coning and then deconing. Now what you're going to do is slowly poke a hole into it. And then bring it outward by sort of like a hand motion like this, and you bring these fingers towards the hand. You have to wet the clay a lot because it is hard to work with if you do not wet it. So you must wet the clay. Okay, I'm slowly opening it, straightening it out. It's okay if it's not perfect, because then in the end you can fix all your little mistakes. And this is ceramics more for beginners, so it's not going to come out extremely beautiful in the beginning because it is for beginners. It's a very difficult art form, I will admit, and with many more years it'll become much easier, and your work will come out better. So right now it's all lopsided, but I'll fix it up. And then because it's low, to raise the walls, you have to take 2 fingers and one a little lower than the other, and just let them follow each other up and meet at the top. So I'll demonstrate that. Okay, that is how you throw. So this is something a little more quick, a little fast. It's not perfect, but it's fine. It would do better. It's a better structure. This is with a little more shaping, with the shaping tool. When you throw, you have to measure the thickness of the clay. So with that, it has to be up to about right there, which is perfect so that it doesn't get destroyed in the fire. And once it is fired, it will be what is called bisque ware. and with Bisqueware you can carve into your decorations. Now, one of the most enjoyable parts of ceramics is the decoration, the carving, the painting of the clay, and that is what we will get to next. For decorating, it could be shaping the pot better, like this one. This is more of a professional work from somebody who's been doing it much more years than I have. And for carving, you basically take a needle and carve into the work once it is what is called bisqueware. Bisqueware is after it's been fired. It'll be sort of like a chalky material sort of feeling to the pot. This is wetware. This is before the firing. And then for sort of a coloring decoration, it would be glaze. This is what a glazed pot looks like. And the glazed pot is then, this is after, before bisqueware, you have to glaze it and then it'll come out like this, very glossy, and that would be the finished look. So, ceramics is very fun, very easy, and let's just take a moment to sort of summarize what we've learned. Ceramics is necessary to have certain tools, a wheel, a bat, which is, bats are optional, needle, a sponge, and all of that. And it's necessary, it's not necessary, but it's better to have certain attire. It's definitely necessary to tie your hair back and have short nails. Also for throwing, it consists of 3 main steps, which is wedging, centering, and then creating the hole and creating the shape. And then decoration is more of the fun last thing that consists of making and throwing a pot. And so ceramics is a very beautiful art form, and it's very fun. It could be difficult, but it takes time to sort of master the art. And I hope that today you've learned more about it and that you take part in trying it. So thank you for watching.